Hello and welcome to Pluribus Unum's Fireside Chats. Not as good as FDR's, but hey, it's something. Now, first of all, apologies if I sound, not so good in this episode. I'm currently coming down with something. I might do that a lot in this episode. And judging by the title, you might be interested because this is an individual that I pretty despise pretty much. At least more so than I used to. It's kind of like the Democratic Party and the versus the Republican Party, or Christianity versus Islam. It's like it's one thing to be something that I was never into, but then already hating it. But it's another to like something and then feel betrayed by it. But first, let's get into the news. First, we're going to start off with the biggest news story that came ever since the last episode. And I wish I waited one day to record that episode, because literally after I recorded that episode, this big news broke of what was going to happen next. Now, first, I was thinking, but anyway, the story. Richard Ojeda, West Virginia lawmaker who backed teacher strikes, will run for president. Richard Ojeda is running for president. Ojeda, a West Virginia state senator and retired U.S. Army major, lost his congressional bid in the state's 3rd district on Tuesday, but saw the large swing of Trump voters towards the Democrats in any district around the country, overperforming 2016 by more than 35 points. Still in a district that Donald Trump carried by 49 points, Ojeda, who rose to prominence because of his support for the teacher strike, lost by 12 points. Ojeda's case for his candidacy is straightforward. The Democratic Party has gotten away from its roots, and he has a unique ability to win over a white, black, and brown working-class coalition by arguing from a place of authority that Trump is a populist fraud. He's launching his campaign with an anti-corruption focus that draws contrast with Trump's inability to, quote, drain the swamp. Now, this is great news. This is great news. Many people were thinking, this might be bad news for a possible Bernie 2020 run, or a Tulsi Gabbard 2020 run, or Elizabeth Warren, or Merkley, or whatever. But I think this is a really, really good thing. Reasons why? Because, well, for starters, Ojeda's not technically a progressive. He's more of a populist. More of a populist left person, arguing for populist left economics and working class stuff. He's not explicitly a progressive a la Bernie Sanders or something like that. But he really can. He speaks from the rural area. Like Bernie, he's from the city. Warren from the city. Merkley from the city. Gabbard, granted, Gabbard's in Hawaii. Was she born in Hawaii? I don't think so. I think she was born in Hawaii. But anyways, he brings the more rural, down-to-earth kind of person to run for president. And I think that'll inevitably be a good thing, especially considering he's already had a huge support boost from people like Kyle Kulinski and Cenk Uygur, the Humanist Report. The Humanist Report. And the Rational National. Those people have been, praising Ojeda the entire time. And Ojeda, I think he's really, really, a really good candidate. If you've seen his ads, you'd know what I'd be talking about. For example, let me play my favorite ad of his, an ad that I can actually recite word for word because I've listened to it so much.
I'm Richard Ojeda, and people say that I'm angry. Well, angry is an understatement. When I come home and I find that I got children in my backyard that have it worse than the kids that I saw in Iraq and Afghanistan, I can't accept that. When I see companies using bankruptcy loopholes to keep from paying our coal miners the pensions that they work for, I will not sit quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been sold out. We've been sold out by people like Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and the Washington insiders. I approve this message because I am angry, and I'm ready to fight back.
You see what I mean? This guy is great. He's campaigns hard. As he's said in multiple interviews, the reason why he's a really great candidate is because he puts boots on the ground. He's able to get people to just go for it. And one of the big things that people have pointed out to be the big point of contention is, of course, the big infamous thing, the thing that made him the most famous thing of all, aside from the teacher strike, the fact that he is the Democrat that voted for Donald Trump. And now, when people say, ooh, that's a bad thing, he's immediately disqualified next. But I say it's a good thing. Hear me out. Let me explain. Ojeda represents the people that the Democratic Party lost. Remember, 2016, they lost 3 Rust Belt states. They lost the 2-time Obama supporter that voted Donald Trump. That was the kind of people they lost, the white working class citizen. Ojeda will be that representation. He's the guy on the stage that will be that guy. Now, the bigger question is, what will happen to Ojeda? Will he manage to get through the primaries? Will he win the election? Now, let me just say this. I believe that if we just skipped the primary and then just nominated Ojeda off the bat, and then he went up against Donald Trump, he'd win with flying colors. The bigger question is he going to get there? Because that's the thing people have always pointed out. The stage is going to be packed. It's going to be packed. No question about it. The Democratic stage is going to be packed. Now it depends on who's going to be there. Is it going to be Booker, Harris, Warren, Sanders, Gillibrand, Gabbard, Merkley, Delaney? Is Yang actually going to be able to get on the stage? We don't know. Is Bloomberg going to run as a Democrat? He's trying to. Is Clinton going to come back? We don't know. If we're going to speculate that Hillary Clinton's going to be president, can I at least speculate that Dennis Kucinich is going to run for president? Can I speculate Alan Grayson's going to run for president? We don't know. We don't know who's going to be on the stage. The guess is obviously it's going to be like 3 corporate Democrats, 3 progressive Democrats, and then like Ojeda will be the technical moderate of the group because of the fact that he has a slight iffiness on regards to, like, you know, abortion. Now, I mean, the iffiness is like he's pro-life in his heart, but he's pro-choice in his mind because of the fact that, you know, he's a West Virginia guy. I mean, why wouldn't he be pro-life? It's also the reason why he's pro-gun, and he's for a public option rather than Medicare for all, which, you know, I think when he gets on the national stage, he's probably going to have to be Medicare for all. I mean, he did support Bernie Sanders in the primary, so Medicare for all is probably on his radar. But, you know, will he even make it to the stage? My guess is I think he's going to get to the stage. Now, which, like, if I were to compare him to another candidate from the past, I'd say he'd be 2020's Mike Gravel. You all know Mike Gravel, that one guy who was there. Or technically, to the 2004 election, he'd be like a Dennis Kucinich. I think, because I don't believe that Ojeda's going to be dropping out. I don't think he is. Even if it's going to be him versus Sanders, I think he's going to stay in the race. Stay in the race just to stay in the race. And now, I think that ultimately would be a good thing, because he can actually, whoever's going to be the last person there, whether it be Sanders or Booker or Bloomberg or somebody, he'll be like there to be like, hey, don't forget the populism. Don't forget populism. Remember, people could vote for me, not you. Hey. And he, of course, would be a good choice to be a running mate. You know, could you imagine, like, Bernie Sanders, like, this nice old man being like, I am going to pick Richard Ojeda to be my running mate. Richard Ojeda, will you be nice to Donald Trump? Fuck no. And I think that he'll pull it off. I think he's going to be a great candidate. I think Ojeda will be a great candidate, and I'm supporting him along with Andrew Yang right now. But remember, when Bernie Sanders announces he's running, both of them are off of there. Next story. Speaking of 2020, another 2020 candidate, Jeff Merkley seeks Oregon law change to clear the way for 2020 presidential bid. U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley is openly mulling a run for president, but a bid for the White House carries risks. By state law, he would have to give up his Senate seat to run. A person may not be a candidate for more than one lucrative office to be filed in the same election, says Oregon revised statutes blah 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 blah. Salem sources tell WW Merkley has quietly asked the state legislators for a change in Oregon law so he can run for both president and the United States Senate in 2020. Okay, that just pretty much files it pretty clear. Merkley's gonna run. Or if, I'm being really blunt with Merkley. Run for president or run for Senate. I think these laws of running for two offices at once is stupid. It's stupid. I don't want that. I would never run for two offices at once. I don't like it when anybody does it. When Bernie does it, no. When Warren does it, no. When Merkley does it, no. I don't like that. Booker's doing it. Booker's already made plans that he's gonna do it. I don't like it when you're like, oh, I'm going to run for this office, but I don't want to lose this one, so I'm gonna run for both. Just in case I lose one, that way I won't be able to lose both offices. I could either be president or I could stay senator. I'll win both races, and then I can be the best at both worlds. No. You either pick one or pick the other. Just do it. Just pick one. Pick one or the other. Merkley, I'm going to be very clear. Pick one or the other. I'm only going to be endorsing you for one of those offices. You better pick which one it is pretty soon, because if you don't, you're not getting any endorsements for that office, frankly. But, we all got people that we like that aren't going to be too great. Merkley, in my opinion, is the second best senator. So, I do personally tell each senator in the world and representative, be cautious about when you want to run for a higher office. Because if the Democratic Party gets a chance to, they will remove you. They did it to Dennis Kucinich. They did it to Alan Grayson. And they'll do it to Merkley. So anyways, to the next story. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is already pressuring Nancy Pelosi on climate change. The struggle is on for control of the long-term Democratic climate agenda. On Tuesday, close to 200 climate activists crowded into Capitol building offices of House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, who will reassume the position of House Speaker when the new Congress is sworn in come in January. We'll get to that in a second. The activists called on Pelosi to lead Democrats in developing an ambitious, comprehensive plan to address climate change, a Green New Deal. Halfway through the protest, rising Democratic star and Representative-elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez visited to show her support, which drew a torrent of media coverage. Now, personally, I think this is a great thing, because people were kind of, in the fence of, is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez gonna pull a Barack Obama on us, or is she going to stay the course and be a new Dennis Kucinich? Which one's she gonna do? And it's pretty clear that she's made up her mind. She's going to be a new Kucinich. And I am super glad for that. I want a new Kucinich. Chewy, that's his name. Slight miscorrection, because apparently his name is Chewy Garcia, not Choi Garcia. I'm Mexican, I'm supposed to know this. What the F, bro? But anyways, that is a big thing. People were expecting people like Chewy, Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley to be like, hey, we're gonna be like, but they're trying to stick to their guns, at least for the most part. But anyways, speaking of Pelosi, anti-Pelosi Democrats issue a warning: she won't have the votes. Two Democrats leading the rebellion against Nancy Pelosi were bullish Tuesday evening about their efforts to stop her from winning the speakership, promising to soon reveal they have enough support to cause a mega shakeup at the top of their caucus. The Democrats, Representatives Seth Moulton and Philemon Vila of Texas, contend that private conversations revealed that Pelosi would soon learn that she is lacking within the full House to be elected Speaker next year, despite her confidence that it would be a lockdown for necessary support. I am 100% confident we can forge new leadership. Now, this is a big one. The people have been thinking, is Pelosi going to win? Is Pelosi going to lose? We don't know. It seems that if Democratic opponents actually have enough people to go against Pelosi seems to pull one trick or the other to get, their support. And for example, Pelosi and Trump have actually been saying, maybe Trump's been like, hey, Pelosi, maybe I'll give you some Republicans to vote for you for the speakership. And, or maybe get them to vote president so that the threshold will be smaller. And many people like me have been saying, maybe someone else should take up the mantle. We want a new face for the Democratic Party. Maybe you should try and actually do this. Now, of course, there have been speculations on who should that be. Now, personally, I would have picked Raul Grijalva, to be quite honest. But it seems the majority of progressives want Barbara Lee to be the new speaker. And, Barbara Lee's great. I like Barbara Lee. Just personality-wise, I like Grijalva better, but, Barbara Lee's alright. She and Grijalva are pretty close to the political spectrum, and by that I mean, completely on the left, while everyone else is in the middle, right? Some other people that have been potential floated candidates were, Representative Cherry Boutos, Hakeem Jeffries, Seth Moulton himself, Adam Schiff, Frank Pallone, but most prominently Marcia Fudge. Marcia Fudge has been, floated around because, she's, the chair of the Black Caucus, and people seem to be like, man, she seems to be alright. Now, personally, I learned something about Marcia Fudge like her. She endorsed Hillary Clinton, and she voted for H.R. 5515. Her corporate PAC money is through the roof. So maybe she wouldn't be the best choice. Barbara Lee would be a better choice, but something's gonna happen. And if they pick Nancy Pelosi, that's a big no-no for me. I don't want Nancy Pelosi to win again. She does not deserve to be speaker, because I know what's gonna happen. If she becomes speaker, they're gonna lose again. But the biggest problem, there are two big things about the Pelosi controversy. One, people think it's a right versus left thing. That everybody who wants Pelosi gone is just mad because she's a progressive, that she's gonna pull, that all these stupid right-wing Democrats are gonna take it over. They're gonna take the seat from her. No. Rashida Tlaib is one of the big people who said that she didn't want her to, run. Rashida Tlaib was one of the big people that's like, Nancy, I am picking you. You're stinky. Rashida Tlaib probably said it more elegantly than I did. But, Rashida Tlaib is a big person. Not, a big name, but she's a big name, and people are interested in what she has to say. I will say to all the people that I'm supporting in the House currently, maybe don't vote for her as House Speaker. Please no. I'd call David Price, but, he's pretty much Nancy Pelosi's butt buddy, so, probably, he's probably just gonna vote for her regardless of what I say. He's gonna be like, we need progressive leadership in the Democratic Party, and that's why I need Pelosi. But the bigger problem people have been having is, they seem to think that the reason why we don't like Nancy Pelosi is because of one thing. She has a pussy. That's literally, they're pulling the sexism card again. Oh boy, I love it when people call me a sexist, even though I'm clearly not a sexist. And this would, do you know why this is, remember who I said that progressives wanted to be the next speaker? Barbara Lee. Barbara Lee ain't no man. If they actually went with my choice of Raul Grijalva, then they might say, okay, then you might have something. But no. The reason why they bring it up is because Chuck Schumer was the big guy who was always there flying colors. Like, he was the big guy that was just renominated with pretty much no opposition. Well, that's slightly different because Pelosi is trying to become the leader of the House of Representatives. Chuck Schumer, stupid fucking Chuck fuck, he's running, like, he ran just to be a minority leader. There was no way he was gonna lose anyways. And I mean, I don't want Chuck Schumer there either. I want Merkley to be Senate majority leader when the Democrats get majority in the House again. Not the House, the Senate. They're gonna get it in the Senate pretty soon. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna assume that they will. But one more thing that makes me mad, personally, is this. Barbara Lee, Raul Grijalva, Ro Khanna, Pramila Jayapal, all these people, Tulsi Gabbard, Peter Welch, they all see that there's this power vacuum. All these progressives see that there's a power vacuum in the Democratic Party. Nobody wants Pelosi. The moderates don't want her. The left-wingers don't want her. Only the donors want her. Here's something that you're supposed to do when this happens. Run somebody. Barbara Lee, she hasn't even said she wanted to run. She wanted to run for Democratic caucus chair. Run for speaker. Grijalva, run for speaker. Khanna, run for speaker. Somebody. I'll run for speaker. You know what? Fine. Hashtag make e Pluribus Unum Speaker of the House. Go ahead, I'll wait. I'll run for freaking Speaker of the House if you want. I'm gonna circulate a petition to get myself to be Speaker of the House. Because legally, I'm not allowed to, like, legally, I'm not, you don't legally have to make, you don't have to legally be a member of the House of Representatives to be Speaker of the House, actually. You could just be some random guy. That's why Vermin Supreme particularly made a role he made a thing that you would sign, and boom, he becomes speaker. I signed the Barbara Lee speaker thing, but I mean, again, we need a new speaker. And when Pelosi gets renominated, because she's pretty much going to be renominated, the Democrats are going to lose again. And then she's going to be like, you fucking stupid progressives. Why you do that? And then Pelosi's going to blame us for some reason. It's getting sick and tired of this. Why? Even if I thought I was the best person for the job, I'd look around and be like, clearly nobody wants me. I'm not going to stop you guys. Let me at least see your other options before I concede. But she's not doing that. She's like, I'm gonna be speaker. These fucking stupid idiots. But anyways, let's make good news. Breaking: Michael Avenatti arrested for alleged domestic violence. Yeah, not much to say. Michael Avenatti beat his wife. I guess we can kiss Avenatti 2020 goodbye. Okay. Now here's some more bad news. Brian Kemp elected governor of Georgia after Democrat Stacey Abrams ends campaign. Yeah, because this race was still going on. She was holding off because a lot of the votes weren't counted. But the votes came in and she didn't win, so she conceded. You know, which is fair. When you concede an election, that's fair. She put up a good fight, and, well, I'm gonna be sad when she's gone. I expect her to run for governor of Georgia in the next election. Or maybe as a... In fact, people actually tried to get her to be Speaker of the House, saying that since this was a whole big debacle, might as well make her Speaker of the House, make her be something. Which is, I guess, a good thing. Now, on another race that was never decided until now, Sinema beats McSally in Arizona Senate race. Representative Kyrsten Sinema has won Arizona's marquee Senate race, handing Democrats a major victory 6 days after the election. McSinema defeated Martha McSally in the most closely watched Senate race of the cycle. Sinema led by a margin of 38,197 votes, around 1.7 percentage points, out of the more than 22.1 million votes cast. Well, you can't blame the Green Party now, because Angela Green, who was the Green Party candidate, endorsed Sinema a couple days before the election, and people still voted for her, and they were getting mad at the Green Party, Green Party, why are you voting for Sinema? Why are you not voting for Sinema? You stupid idiots! You're going to cost us the election. I win again. My prediction was right again. Sinema won this race. My prediction was correct. See, my predictions haven't been wrong so far. I mean, maybe we can look at the Florida senatorial race. I don't know if that one's been decided yet. I think it's still Scott who's in the lead, but I haven't checked. And I'm not particularly happy about Sinema getting the seat, to be quite honest, because, she's a blue dog. I don't like blue dogs. Blue dog Democrats can go die. And she's that's the thing. She's the atheist who refuses to call herself an atheist. She's like, oh, I'm the bisexual candidate. Bitch, please. Who cares? And she's like, ooh, when she was elected to the House, she was like, ooh, I'm not theistic. And they're like, wait, so does that mean you're an atheist? He's like, shh, don't do that. Don't tell. You'll ruin my career. Stop. Ooh, man, this is a great day for America. We got another blue dog Democrat. Joe Manchin was getting pretty lonely when the other blue dogs lost, so it was glad that we got him another pup. But anyways, another good news. Democrats say their first bill will focus on strengthening democracy at home. Democrats will take control of the U.S. House in January, with big items topping their legislative to-do list. Remove obstacles to voting, close loopholes in government ethics laws, and reduce influence in political money. Party leaders will say that the first legislative votes in the House will come on H.R. 1, a magnum opus of provisions that Democrats believe will strengthen U.S. democratic institutions and traditions. It's three very basic things that I think the public will want to see, said Representative John Sarbanes, who spearheads campaign finance and government ethics. He says it will demonstrate that we have heard the message loud and clear. Now, it's not Medicare for all, but it'll do. Pramila Jayapal, actually, I didn't get this story because I couldn't find it, but Pramila Jayapal is also going to be introducing Medicare for all, HR 676, to the House officially in 2019. It's going to be the big official vote. They're actually going to get a vote for Medicare for all, and this done. Will either of these things pass? Probably not. But it's a good thing to try. Go ahead. I would rather have Medicare for all and strengthening democracy at the home, which this bill includes automatic voter registration, but it doesn't include ranked choice voting, to be quite honest. I would have preferred it if it included ranked choice voting too. But I would rather have these bills passed by the Democrats and then taken away from me by the Republicans than just have the Democrats sit idly behind and be like, do. Oh yeah, are you going to try? No, we're not going to try because we're going to lose. So what? Try again. Introduce this bill in every single house, in every single session of Congress until it passes or fails. But don't take no for an answer. Try it again when you get a majority. And Democrats seem to be trying that again with a majority. That's really good. I think it'll be really good for the U.S. to actually have a party that can actually try and take something back and try to fight. But anyways, now on to the political party of the day. The Veterans Party of America, a political party based in Moses Lake, Washington, USA. Its leader is Mark Wilder. Its chairman is Mark Wilder. Its spokesperson is Mark Wilder. It was founded by Mark Wilder. Its ideology is constitutionalism, centrism, electoral reform. Its political position in economics is center, and its social policies is center to center right. It currently holds 2 elected offices, not telling me which ones they are, but that's fine. It was founded in 2013, and it fielded a lot of candidates. It was originally started as a faction of the modern Whig Party, until it eventually became its own political party. It held 2 elected offices, the first of them being Michael R. Hart, who was the mayor of Commerce in Oklahoma. Its only presidential campaign was in 2016. The Veterans Party announced that Chris Kinstein, an Air Force veteran of Texas, and Deacon Taylor, an American veteran of Nevada, for president and vice president, respectively. Veterans Party had full ballot access in Colorado, Louisiana, and Mississippi, and had write-in access in 10 more states. It says that, but the map doesn't show they had ballot access in Mississippi. It received 7,251 votes, and received 0.00005% of the popular vote. Getting pretty close to the end of the list. It was pretty far down the list. You know, people like Rocky De La Fuente already had like the centrism thing to a T, and all that other stuff. But you know, it had a huge thing. It was like not that particularly big. I mean, what do we expect? Its color is purple. But now let's get into the big topic of the day. My thoughts on Bill Maher. For those who don't know who Bill Maher is, he's a guy who is known for being a political news satirist who hosts his own talk show, Real Time with Bill Maher, and used to host another talk show called Politically Incorrect. He is widely regarded as Hollywood's big progressive. He used to identify himself as a libertarian, and he calls himself a 9/11 liberal, noting his former liberal view of Islam changed as a result of the attacks on September 11th. And he differentiates himself from liberals all religions are alike. He's best known for trying to debunk Ben Affleck for being like, Ben Affleck saying that, he was like, Islam isn't that particularly good. But then Ben Affleck's like, well, that's incredibly racist to say that. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Bill Maher? And Bill Maher's like, what? No. Islam is no. And he's like, how dare you? You're so racist, Bill. Bill is he's seen as like the big progressive. Like the aggressive progressive that doesn't take shit. He's pretty much like what Jimmy Dore is now is what Bill Maher is seen as. They see him as the big guy. Now, does he fulfill that? Not so much. For starters, he really hates third parties. He just hates them. Ralph Nader, Jill Stein, he hates them all. Gary Johnson, he hates them. Does he give him a chance? No. He doesn't give him a chance. Even if they're espousing what he agrees with. Nope. No. Just gone. Dust in the wind. Now, I believe the show's stationed in, like, California, which, again, that would mean, like, he technically has the right to vote for whoever he wanted. It's a deep blue state. Or maybe, or it says that he was also born in New York, so maybe the show's stationed in New York. So again, he also has that option. But he doesn't do that. He was like one of the big guys who applauded the whole spoiler myth. He pretty much shit on Susan Sarandon for like Jimmy Dore always talks about Susan Sarandon and like how people always hate on her. Bill Maher was the OG Susan Sarandon, you're stupid. He was the OG guy to do that. He invited Ralph Nader on his show just so he could get on his knees and beg Ralph Nader, please, Ralph, don't run again. I know your ideas make too much sense and people will vote for you because you're a really honest person and actually care about the issues. But please don't. I want warmongering Carrie to win. Please, please. Michael Moore, please join me and help me get Ralph Nader, the guy you supported in 2000, to not run. Please, please, please. And Ralph was like, no, you fucking idiot. I'm gonna run. You guys can't stop me. You're not the kings of America. This is a free country. I'm allowed to run if I want. And of course, he also has Jill Stein. Of course, I don't even think he mentions Jill Stein by name. He's like that one guy who was literally like, this selfish lawyer of the Green Party. I'm not even gonna say his name. Has cost us the election. He's that guy. He invited Sarah Silverman, Vanellope von Schweetz from Wreck-It Ralph, to shit on Gary Johnson, because literally everybody who was going to vote for Bernie Sanders was going to flip to Gary Johnson. I liked Gary Johnson, don't get me wrong. He was alright. Not on economic policies, but on social policies, he was pretty fine. He, really, again, and the big thing is he claims to be like this big anti-establishment guy. Like, yeah, I'm gonna fight the establishment. I'm gonna beat the establishment. I'm gonna endorse Bernie Sanders over Hillary Clinton, because Hillary Clinton's a cunt. She can go fuck himself. Hillary Clinton can go fuck herself because she sucks. July, when Bernie Sanders loses. Hillary, please more. You get my point? That's what Bill Maher is. Bill Maher is that. Another individual. I'll get to him when I get to him. They shill for the establishment when they say it needs to be. But when it's convenient, when they have the ability to rebel, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna rebel against the establishment. I'm gonna vote for Bernie Sanders. He's so cool. Then, oh no, Bernie Sanders is out of the race. Am I going to keep the anti-authority and vote for a third-party candidate? Nah, I'm going to vote for corporate Democrat land. Now, I will say, he did say, Hillary, your time is done, go away. And he's also one of those guys that was like, Julian Assange revealed secrets about the Bush administration. Yeah, you go get him, Julian. Yeah, you go get him, Julian. And then Julian Assange revealed something about Hillary Clinton. Now, hold on. That's a bit harsh, wouldn't you say? Did you have to release those emails? Sure, it revealed that Hillary Clinton ruined the election for Bernie Sanders, but did you have to tell people that? Did people actually have the right to know? Did they? Did they really? Of course they did. And that's why he did it. Bill, this is your job. You're the big guy that's like, you want to be Jon Stewart, but you're not. You're not. Jon Stewart was openly, granted, Jon Stewart has, problems, but Jon Stewart had, one. You have, 1 million. Another thing about him is that he seems to be super on the side of Israel in the Israel-Palestine argument, and then whenever it's fine if you're on that side of the argument if you want to be, but you see, the thing is, people who are on the side of Israel, they always seem to completely ignore the Palestinian part. Just think, honestly, at least hear what the Palestinian people have to say. He takes your average thing of Are you against Israel? Yeah. Well, you're an anti-Semite. No, I'm not. I'm actually against the Israeli government. I believe the Israeli government is very detrimental. It's been causing a lot of problems. Many of them have actually stated that they want to commit a Holocaust on the Palestinian people. Well, I mean, you're just an anti-Semite. You're just an anti-Semite. You hate Israel, you're an anti-Semite. It's like, I don't care about Benjamin Netanyahu. He can go screw himself. Tamar Zandabarg, who's like leading like an opposition party that actually wants a two-state solution, if you're prime minister of Israel, that'd be great. I'd love that. I'd love for her to be prime minister of Israel. That way I wouldn't have to criticize Israel so much. She'd be like, yeah, we screwed over the Palestinian people. Da-da-da. And like, he apparently, like Bill Maher, he is super against all these things that a progressive would just normally be for. Why? I don't get it. How could you be Hollywood's big progressive if you're literally just gonna shrill for the establishment? And this isn't even just a problem with him. There's another individual who you probably have been thinking in your head, this guy, you're probably gonna want to talk about this guy soon. And don't worry, I'll get to him when I get to him. Hint, Armenian genocide. But, you know, he, like Bill Maher, and another thing about Bill Maher, he's also doing the whole Nancy Pelosi route of like, we need bipartisanship, we need to work with the other side. Like, you want me to tell you who he's had on his show in recent years? Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, Steve Bannon. Where's Jimmy Dore? Where's Kyle Kalinske? Mike Figurino? David Dole? Cenk Uygur? Anyone? He's willing to extend his hand out to Milo Yiannopoulos, but not Jimmy Dore. Because Milo, he's like, well, yeah, we gotta vote for the two-party system, Republican or Democrat. You gotta pick one. Jimmy Dore's like, actually no. And Bill Maher's like, and like all the people he has on his show that are like even progressively minded, they've been there for like a million years. Yeah, because the kids today know who Michael Moore and Tom Hartman are. I mean, granted, I do, but I know who freaking Rush Limbaugh is. Do you know any kid? Ask the next kid you find, who's Rush Limbaugh? Who's Rush Limbaugh? No, nobody cares about Rush Limbaugh anymore. The new media people are the future, and Bill Maher is really open to having new media conservatives, but new media progressives, who cares? Who cares about them? The progressives are all here. It's me, Tom Hartman, and Michael Moore in a room full of conservatives. I don't get it. Why is everybody so conservative? Now, granted, remember, I think Bill Maher, he can be good, he can be funny, he can be doing a lot of things. His film Religiosity, I thought it was good, I liked it. And in a lot of his older segments, where he talks about a lot of things that are like not explicitly Democrat or Republican, I mean, when he shit talks the Republican Party, that's fine. I like that. It's hilarious. Especially when he called out Bob Dole for saying like, you know, Reagan would be disappointed in the Republican Party we have today. Bill Maher rightfully said, no, he wouldn't. He'd be like, yes, Reaganomics are making a comeback. But Bill Maher, like, you can't place yourself as this big anti-establishment person when you're doing what the establishment wants you to do. And, like, he even invited Cornel West on his show and then asked him the question, what's a neoliberal disaster? I know what a neoconservative disaster is, but what's a neoliberal disaster? Hey, begrudging liberals who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. Are you mad now? Donald Trump made you mad now, bro? Like, I would definitely like to see me on a Bill Maher segment. I guarantee that I'd probably get kicked off before the episode even ended. And another thing is, for some reason, Bill Maher, he's willing to make fun of his own side and make his side look like idiots. Like, he's supposed to be like, remember, he's supposed to be the progressive guy, and on a show with Tom Hartman and Michael Moore, and like a couple of conservatives, a woman who's a conservative, one of the conservatives on the panel, she said, hey, maybe we should, people, economics, and liberals don't know anything about economics. And then Michael Moore made a joke saying, she said something about, like, how Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All bill would never happen because economics don't make sense. And Bill Maher was like, yep, I get it, yep. And Michael Moore was like, well, yeah, because we're all liberal arts majors, not economics majors. And it's like, and everyone's like, ha 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 ha, yeah, Michael Moore, left-wingers are so stupid, they're so freaking stupid. Yeah, screw all the left-wing economic, screw John Maynard Keynes, or that's his name, right? Keynesian economics, that kind of guy. Screw Edward Bernstein, screw Karl Marx. They only spent, like, what, a million years crafting economic theories? Well, I mean, if you're a conservative, you probably think that Karl Marx's economic theory was written on the back of a table napkin, but, you get my point. These are people that worked really hard on economic theories, and you're literally just going to be like, but what about your liberal arts majors? Granted, this is more of a problem of Michael Moore than Bill Maher, but, Michael Moore kind of fits in that same category of, like, I'm the super, super progressive. Hillary Clinton was a really good person. When you think about it really clearly, Drumpf, yeah. You see, this is why a lot of these old media progressives are gonna have to just fade away pretty soon. These new media guys, Kyle Kalinske, Jimmy Dore, Mike Figurino, David Dole, even Sahil Habibi of the Progressive Voice, who also has a video possibly coming out. Like, I mean, when I made this list, I made like a complete wheel circle, like, a wheel on wheel side, and just listed pretty much everybody I could talk about that is in the political sphere. Literally anybody. People I like, people I don't like. Old media, new media. I really cut back to, like, the early 2000s, like, even the mid-90s. Because the mid-90s, people kind of know, like, even if it's, like, things I know slightly about them, like Sean Hannity or Bill O'Reilly. But back to Bill Maher. I got sidetracked there. Bill Maher, he's the big... Again, I keep stressing this because this is something that he keeps pushing on himself. I'm the big progressive. He even when he just looks at, like, so much so that he literally is able to, when you say something, all you need to say to get Bill Maher to like you is, I voted for Hillary Clinton. Like, he doesn't care about the context or anything. Like, and the first thing that I realized when I started realizing that Bill Maher wasn't that good was when he had Penn Jillette on the show. Like, I like Penn Jillette, just not only in the magics, but in his, like, atheistic ideology and stuff. And when he talks about libertarianism, that's also pretty good. Even though, libertarianism gets half of the stuff wrong. He was talking about, the election. And how Penn Jillette was like, at one point, Bill Maher says, but Penn, you're a libertarian, and you're a diehard libertarian, but you voted for Hillary Clinton, which is the smart thing to do. Everybody knows all the smart people voted for Hillary Clinton. You were able to sacrifice your libertarian philosophies in order to vote for Hillary Clinton. God bless you, sir. And yet never once brought up the context of why Penn Jillette voted for Hillary Clinton. Now, for those of you who know anything about Penn Jillette and his libertarian philosophy, he always votes for the libertarian candidate. It wasn't until 2016 where he voted for someone who wasn't the libertarian candidate. Now, of course, you might be thinking, why did he do that? Let me explain context. Penn Jillette lived in a swing state. A friend of his, who was a Hillary Clinton supporter, lived in a safe state. So they participated in vote swapping, which, for those of you who don't know, is a way of voting. Like, let me give an example. Me and Mr. Beat. Let's say Mr. Beat lives in Kansas. Let's just say Kansas in this scenario is a solid red state, even if it's not. Let's just say it is. I'm pretty sure it is, but let's just say it is. And he wants to vote for, the Republican candidate. Let's just say, for the argument, it's, Ron Paul or something, and he wants to vote for the Republican candidate. And I want to vote for the Libertarian Party candidate. Now, he knows that the Republican won't have any problem losing that state, but the Republican might need my state because the Democrat running is a candidate from North Carolina. Ergo, Carolina could flip to blue and guarantee John Edwards the win. So he calls me up and says, hey, I'll vote for the candidate you want to win, and you vote for the candidate that I want to win. That way, your candidate will be able to win. That way, my candidate can win your state, but your candidate still gets that percentage point upward. See, it's a pretty good deal when you think about it. Many people participate in vote swapping when they want to have their conscience to vote for a Nader, but want Gore to win. That's something that people do a lot. And Penn Jillette did it in that context because, due to the fact that he knew Donald Trump personally, he, was treated with, like, he knew Donald Trump personally, so he was like, yeah, this is a bad idea. We probably shouldn't allow Donald Trump to be president, so I'm just gonna, participate in this to let Johnson get up by 3 points, and then I'll be able to have my conscience clear, and either way, Hillary will win. Of course she didn't, but, that's how it works. People don't win the end, and that's why Bill Maher, and of course, was just like, yes, Penn, yes, you voted Hillary Clinton, my favorite boy. Sure, you're completely wrong in all economics, but you voted for Hillary Clinton. That's good enough for me. You see, that's... And he even... Another thing is he's in like that Trump train where he's like, Trump is the worst of all the Republican candidates in the history of the world. We've had warmongering president. We haven't had a warmongering president before Donald Trump. Donald Trump is so openly with foreign powers that it is sickening. Russia. When literally he lived through the Bush administration. Like, seriously. Anybody who lived through the Bush administration should know. No. This is not new stuff. Working with foreign powers, being hostile to foreign governments, this is not new. Donald Trump may be more brazen about it, but it's not true that it is brand new. I have lived through the Bush administration. Well, I barely lived through the Bush administration. I've researched the Bush administration. This is not new. And another thing, apparently George W. Bush has got a freaking Medal of Freedom. Not the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I'm thinking of another award. But Biden gave him like a freaking medal for like peace or something. No. Why do people open their hands to George W. Bush? I don't care about George W. Bush. I hate him. If George W. Bush called me for a kidney transplant, I'd tell him to go fuck himself. Screw George Bush. I don't like you. Go away. Leave me alone. Stop calling me and trying to give me candy. I told you, I don't have any weapons of mass destruction. I don't know if that's a euphemism or not, but I don't care. People are so open to forget about the Bush years, and that's what's going to get you another Republican president. if you make people forget how bad George Bush was, that's the literal reason why this generation of mine is more conservative than the last one. Because they were babies when the Bush administration happened. And Bill Maher's just ready to let this happen again. I don't even mind if, like, the more libertarian-minded Republicans took over. Because then it'd be like, you know, we wouldn't have the Justin Amashes if it wasn't for 9/11. They saw 9/11, they saw what the Bush administration did, and they were like, hey, that's not a good thing. But Bill Maher, with his whole, let's forget about the atrocities of the Bush administration, let's move on to why Donald Trump, or, I'm sorry, Donald Drumpf, is the worst president in the history of the world. Number 1, he called a woman a whore. Number 2, he called a woman a horseface. Number 3, he insulted black people. Number 5, number 20, he said grab her by the pussy. And number 11, even though there's no evidence for it, he possibly colluded with Russia. Even though there's no evidence for it, I'm 100% convinced. I will put my bet in the horse. Putin has his hand directly up Donald Trump's ass, and he's making him talk in a Russian accent. That's why Donald Trump said "Dos Vidania" one time, even though he was acting in a movie and said "Dos Vidania." Like, seriously, how can he even say, oh, I'm like the late night talk show host that's like, ooh, I'm the rebel, I'm the atheist rebel. Oh, you're an atheist, big freaking deal. There are lots of people that are atheists. Big deal. Again. Ooh, you're a Democrat? Wow! It's not like it's the number 1 political party in America. Oh my gosh. You've blown my freaking mind. An atheist Democrat. I've never seen those guys before. Wow. You're so freaking outrageous. You want to legalize weed? Oh my gosh, it's not like it's one of the most popular pieces of legislation the American people have. Universal health care? Oh my gosh, it's not like 70% of the American people want it legal. Want to make Medicare for all. Wow. You know, I've been talking bad about Bill Maher all this time, but, you know, since he's such a rebel, and since he's rebelling against the American people itself, I think it's really good that he actually believes that this is gonna... I can't even bother with this. Bill Maher is literally... How can anybody like him? I mean, granted, I guess on the off chance he's funny. But, you know, Lee Camp is funny too. And he's super against the corporate state. Jimmy Dore's funny, and he's also against the corporate state too. And besides, Bill Maher, it's not even like a South Park situation where South Park makes fun of both sides, and they clearly have their biases, but, you know, they make fun of both sides. Bill Maher, he's not even like that. He's clearly like this corporate Democrat biased guy who's like, oh, I'm super progressive. Oopie doopie doo. Big deal. Literally everybody calls himself a progressive in one state or another. Maybe not in the upfront of like, ooh, I think we need to have Medicare for all, but everybody wants to move forward. That's the whole basic idea of progressive. There was an era of the United States called the Progressive Era, and it's regarded as one of the best eras we've had due to the rapid progressive era parts of our lives, you know, like getting child labor laws, women voting. I guess to wrap up Bill Maher stinks. He's corporate shill. Just because you voted for Bernie doesn't mean I like you. And Nader would have won. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified when a future video of mine comes out. And if you're interested in more political content from me, you can go to my website or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Quora. What are your thoughts on Bill Maher? Do you like him? Do you hate him? Do you think he should go in a pit and disappear? Do you think he needs to switch to being conservative? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, who do you think I should cover next? Leave that in the comment section below too.